My name is Portia Brown. I attend Central Michigan University.
My name is Duncan Tarr. I go to Michigan State University.
My name is Julia Cuneo. I go to University of Michigan Dearborn.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Disler.
Hi, I'm Angela French.
And I'm Cassidy Wiley.
I am now a member of the Black Student Union here.
I am an organizer with MSU Students United, Michigan Coalition Against Tar Sands, and the Michigan Student Power Network.
I am a co-founder of the Social Justice League.
We're all students from Grand Valley State University
Who are involved in United Students Against Sweatshops
and the Michigan Student Power Network.
The Power Network grew out of a series of inter-university relationships that had sprung up in the years following Occupy Wall Street. We as organizers noticed that we worked harder and we worked smarter when we were able to expand our vision beyond our individual campuses. We drew strength and inspiration from our friends fighting at other universities, pushing our own work to greater heights. When we connected with students at other schools, we began to see ourselves not just as this or that campus org, but as part of a movement fighting for a better state.
Really interested in power networks that formed at other states around the country, like the Dream Defenders in Florida, and also in Ohio and in New Jersey. With some encouragements from some of those organizers, we had our first gathering in spring of 2014.
The first Student Power Gathering welcomed more than 40 students representing 8 universities to the University of Michigan campus in Ann Arbor. We spent the day learning about each other's work and discussing what a statewide network would look like. Ultimately, we committed to building a statewide organization, the Michigan Student Power Network. The Student Power Network is all about building connections between organizers and campuses. Our approach focuses on building from relationships to action to organization. Too often it seems like statewide orgs try to set up the perfect constitution and structure and then go out and ask folks to join their organization. To fight this trend, we try to focus on face-to-face interactions and relationship building between different orgs and different campuses. Each semester we have a statewide strategy session to look back at where we've come and decide how we want to move forward.
It's really important to learn from each other while we're doing this work so that we grow. When you're doing it in sort of an isolated bubble of a college, you only learn so far as you push yourself. You don't really have a whole lot of people to check you.
The DIY nature of the Power Network it helps folks feel accountable because the Power Network is something that folks, like people made, like that I helped make.
We all get to come together for the strategy sessions and get to bounce ideas off of each other and learn and grow.
It helps build these connections between organizations and communities across the state, and really is there as a support network of all these folks that care about not only each other's work but care about each other as individuals.
You really grow more when there's a bigger variety of perspectives and experiences around you.
Another key aspect of maintaining the Power Network are our bi-weekly calls that help connect campuses and build towards our long-term goals. It's also on these calls where all major decisions about the organization are made democratically between different strategy sessions.
It's so incredible to hear all the different work that people are doing all across the state. It's empowering to know that you're not alone in fighting for social justice and a better world.
Hearing about what other students are doing in movements related to mine and unrelated to mine is very motivating. It makes me feel like I've got a little bit of fire under my butt. It makes me want to kind of get up right then and there and start planning the next thing that I want to do or want to see happen with my organization on my campus.
You're simultaneously working on things together and then also talking about the work you're doing separately, so it's very validating in a way because you hear about just all of these different organizations doing social justice work around the state, sometimes on very different issues, but just still coordinating with each other, and they often also bring different concerns to the events you organize together, so one person will bring up something you'd never thought of. So I found it very energizing and really enjoyed getting to know people who are passionate about the same values that I am and that my organization is.
This was a big year for the Power Network. We went from a small gathering of 40 people to marching on the Capitol building with more than 150. We've grown from just 3 campuses until now we have contacts and organizational affiliates on more than 9. One of our earliest statewide programs was Vote Mob, a Get Out the Vote program that provided the network with its first major goal and some of its first funding. Between September and November, we mobilized teams on 5 campuses, recruiting enthusiastic volunteers, turning out folks to vote, informing students about the issues, and building visibility of the election on campus. On election day, we had teams handing out student voter guides, calling registered voters, and chalking around their campuses. While the election didn't necessarily turn out the way we might have hoped, we came out of the experience with a much stronger organization and a stronger network in general.
One of my favorite memories is I really loved the March on Lansing because there were so many different people from so many different schools coming together over a ton of different issues and saying that, no, we will not continue to live in a system that has all these injustices, and we will not submit to that, and we will fight against that together.
I got to give a speech, which to me was really exciting. It was the first time I had done anything like that.
Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Being able to sort of key that speech into other people's speeches and be a part of something that was so big, I really enjoyed that, and I think it's gonna stay with me for a really long time.
At the march, we delivered a list of 10 concrete demands to friendly legislators. The demands were crafted from suggestions sent in by students all across the state. We sought to articulate the type of state Michigan's young people want and need for their future. The final demands list ranged from ending discrimination against LGBTQ folk to increasing education funding and combating police brutality. Collectively, they formed an intersectional vision for our state.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Listen to the speeches and hear the different narratives and personal experiences.
People like me, people who identify within the LGBT community and all of the other acronyms that exist, are always disenfranchised from institutions everywhere.
This isn't a game! This isn't a game! This isn't a joke!
From here, I can definitely see the Michigan Student Power Network becoming something that is on every campus in the state of Michigan.
Intersectionality is really important for movement building, but what does that actually look like in a statewide organization? And the Student Power Network is really trying to unite all these different movements and explain how they're all connected.
The state is isolated into these regions, so we have kind of like people in one city who think badly about people in another city and don't want to talk to them or work with them or really have any interaction with them at all. They'd rather stay in their own city, and just all these sort of bad vibes. And I think that the MSPN goes one step towards reducing that and having a sense that we're all in this together, and that the different cities in the state have some tied vision together and some tied values.
It's going to expand. It already has very quickly, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
I stand here today for all of the people in the audience, all of the beautiful, loving individuals who believe in a future that is intersectional, that is inclusive. I stand here for my hometown in Detroit that's grappling with its own social and political and environmental aspects of discrimination and racism. And most importantly, I stand here for student power, for political participation, and for the idea that there is something better, that there is something more that we can achieve, and that collectively together we can do that. And so when I look all around,